who was born June the 28th, 1912.
Right,
So
right.
you're going to be 81 years old this.
91.
I mean 91 years old this June. Yes, sir. And we're in Potawatomi in Wamego, Kansas, and I will be the interviewer, Dean Schoengert, also in Wamego. Walter, how old were you when you entered the service? You must have been out of high school already.
Oh boy, yes, I was 28.
And then you got drafted?
Drafted, right.
Mm-hmm. And where did you go after that?
Went to Fort Leavenworth. I was drafted in Fort Leavenworth, sworn in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to Camp Barkley, Texas for basic training, 6 months there then.
Was Leavenworth a scary experience for you? Remember anything about it?
Oh, that didn't worry me too much. There was too many other guys going through the same stuff.
Had you ever been in Kansas City before, though?
No.
So, see, you're getting away from home, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Then where'd you go after induction?
I went to Camp Barkley, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
6 months there, and about a year's training there, and then we went to Louisiana maneuvers.
Well, tell us a little bit about that training.
The what?
About the training.
Oh, well, I guess that's about the same thing everybody had. But a lot of marching around, and
Was marching difficult for you?
oh boy, it sure was. That's pretty nice. Got to be a driver, so I stayed there driving all the time. I drove a big truck for a couple of months, not Louisiana maneuvers, and then they changed their mind, said we was too good for that. We have to go in on the steady. His first training was we'd be relief all the time wherever they wanted us. Then we went back from went over maneuvers in Louisiana, back to Texas for another 6 months, and then went to California for maneuvers.
These maneuvers were out in the field. And you were driving then too?
Yes. I was driving all well now. First 6 months I didn't do any driving about anything, but from then on I was driving. And got out to California on the maneuvers. They put me over there. I was driving the umpire around all the time. I asked them why, and they said, "Seemed like you know what to do back there, so we put you out here." So I'd been driving all the time.
You were driving with an umpire?
Umpire, that's right.
That was sort of judging the maneuvers.
The
And
judge, yeah, he was
Yeah.
making a judge, yeah.
Did you have any scary experiences in all those training exercises?
No, not too much of that. It was, went under this machine gun fire. We had to crawl on our hands and knees, and it kind of worried me. And from California, we went to Fort Dix, New Jersey.
How'd you get from Dix to New Jersey?
We took a train ride from California clear across here. Boy. And the Texas man was making fun of me, in fun of Kansas. It was bad weather. He says the only thing you seen live in Kansas was an old hen that was looking out a window. So we made it on through, though. Then Fort Dix, we had some more training back there. But that was cold there, a lot of snow. I just don't remember the next camp I went to in New York. I don't know. There on got on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 11 days on the ship going over.
Is that in a convoy or?
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of ships. I don't know how many. I suppose it was 10, 15 ships. Went on into England.
Was that like 42 or was that later? Maybe 43.
That's about 42, I think, yeah. And we went to England. We done a lot more training there again, but if they give me a Jeep again, I got to do some more driving.
Uh-huh.
And, well, I guess just about the regular routine of training we had there. We got pretty rough sometimes with it, but and then we got on this ship and we didn't know where we was going. We pulled out away from England, come over the ship, come over the loudspeaker on the ship. Well, the captain says, we just told to pull out here. He says, I don't know where we're going. And pretty soon a little old boat come out with somebody on the notes giving the orders. Have a payday, they give us pay in French money, so we know we was going to France.
French money?
Yeah. And that's when we went into Normandy there from there then.
You're talking about D-Day?
D-Day, yeah.
So did you go in then on D-Day or shortly after?
I went in the first night of D-Day.
What beach?
What?
What beach did you go in, you remember?
Yeah, it was Utah Beach.
Mm.
And that's when the fun started. Oh, I'll tell you, like the first week I couldn't hardly eat. I was so scared of it.
What was it like getting off the landing?
Oh, we set out on that water for a day, and I didn't like that, but I was glad to get on land.
But
Well, we was in quite a battle there in Normandy where we was fighting.
weren't there a lot of casualties on the beach as you came in?
Oh yeah, there's dead men laying all over. And, well, in our company, half of them got killed there.
What was that the beach was that the beach that had the high cliffs that you had to?
No, that was
was-
Omaha Beach. But that there was land I could drive a Jeep up there.
What beach was this? It wasn't Omaha?
No, it was Utah.
Utah, you said. Anything else you can tell us about that landing? Okay, were you able to stay with your officers, or was it just complete confusion?
Oh, we stayed together all right. A little worried though.
After one day, what time of the day did you land on the beach?
It was midnight.
Midnight.
Dark. Oh boy, it was dark. And then, well, it was about the middle of the afternoon. The bullets got to flying around. When we got there. First night, three of us, we was too scared, didn't know what to do. We just sat down with backs to each other looking around. And from then on, it was just a routine dodging around.
Mm-hmm. So when you hit the water and went on the beach, you weren't shot at too much. It was later on in the day. Is that
Yeah,
what
it
you?
was dark. There wasn't no shooting around.
Oh, I see.
Got on this landing barge, and it took us to. Well, I had that Jeep all smeared up to where you could drive under water. I was sitting on the lean back feet down here and steering wheel down there. Just put that thing in four-wheel drive and low gear, the lowest gear. And had that trailer behind it, went right on into the beach then.
You mean the motor would run underwater?
Yeah, the whole motor was underwater. I had everything. All the wires under the dash, that was all covered with this goop, whatever, I don't know what you called it.
I see.
And the spark plugs was all covered with it. It was pretty much of a secret. It belonged to England. England gave us that stuff. And the first day I was in there, I was be pulling all that stuff back off again because I forget now. I think they said a half hour is as long as you possibly run it with all that on there.
Do you have an extension on the exhaust pipe
No.
or the air intake?
Oh, the other intake, we had a pipe running up your side. And there was also a vent to go down to the gas tank. There was a vent.
Did you see some of those tanks with skirts on that's supposed to make them float?
No.
You
Well, what do you mean?
I don't know. I read about it in a book. Did you have tanks going in with you?
No, we didn't. We was in there about 2 weeks before we seen a tank.
Really?
Oh, it looked so good to me. I could have kissed one when I come up there.
How far in were you then?
We're not very far in. We just had just a big pocket there we was in. And the first day, these 2 tanks come up there, and I don't think they lasted a half hour, and they was knocked out.
Really?
They had these there ridges, dirt ridges there, and the tank would go up over that, and they'd shoot the bottom out of them right away. And
Talking about the hedgerows?
hedgerows, yeah. And by God, the next day, then there's some more tanks coming. I don't know who snuck up there and put dynamite in that hedgerow, blowed it out, and the tank would go in level then.
Oh.
Then we had them under control then. I don't remember just how long we was in there. I think it's about the 4th of July whenever we made the big run and broke out and got out of Normandy. Going down that road, and a Frenchman, he says that patch of trees up there, he says, that's just full of cannons. Well, the lieutenant, he says, well, let's go up and see. And we was going up there, and pretty soon he says, turn around and go back. And I said, what's the matter? Well, he says, the only reason there ain't no more guns in there, there ain't no room for them to stick out. So, went back, we made us kind of a horseshoe, I guess. And we had, what did they call that? Falaise Gap, I believe, the battle we had. Oh, we had an awful fight there. That's when the Germans called for a 2 hours truce to pick up wounded and dead. We fought there for, well, I think 2 days. Then we went on through France. Gosh. Oh, we just have to stop every once in a while to these towns and fight it out.
You were still basically driving a Jeep
Yeah, I was driving the Jeep.
for your officer or?
For Sergeant rode with me, and 2 other men. Well, there was really 7 of us. Someone rode on a trailer.
Did you have a machine gun on the Jeep or anything like
No,
that?
I didn't have no machine gun. I was mortars, but I had 80 millimeter mortars. The machine gun was the other one then.
You had a mortar that you carried on the Jeep, or?
Yes, we had that 80 millimeter mortar we carried on. Slug of ammunition for it.
Did you have enough food supplies all this time?
Yes, we did, all the way, just burned there all the way through France. But when we made that big breakthrough, well, we drove and drove. When I quit that night, I don't think I had a quart of gas in the tank anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat there and they brought us gas in with airplanes. And then, I guess that was when the Battle of Metz started in there then. That went on for a couple of weeks.
You hauled ammunition. You said you went up to the front line.
Oh yeah, I was really on the front lines.
Ammunition with your trailer on the Jeep?
Yeah, I would take that trailer back and get it full of mortar shells.
Uh-huh.
And, well, we carried all kinds of stuff in that. And there would be times, I'd take the trailer off and I would take 3 other men. We'd go out on a motorized patrol out in front of the front line to see if there's anything out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we went north from Metz. I can't think of the names of what you would call it in there, but we was quite a ways north of that. And we just crossed a river, some river.
The Rhine?
No, this wasn't the Rhine yet. But we just got over there and we got word that we had to come back, that the Germans had made a breakthrough up in the north up there. We had to go up there and help them. Up in Luxembourg and up in there.
Would that have been the Battle of the Bulge?
Yeah, that's the Battle of the Bulge that was in then. That went on, I don't know how long, that went on long enough.
You said you were over there 11 months and you slept in the snow and
Oh yeah, up
below
in
zero.
Belgium and Luxembourg, that was just snow every day and every night. Temperature was 0 and below all the time. I didn't know how cold it was, but it's on TV the other day. I heard them say it was 10 to 20 degrees below 0 all the time. Oh, I'll tell you, that was cold driving that Jeep with the windshield down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess the next thing was the Battle of Germany, because we went through there and crossed the Rhine River and went clear down to Czechoslovakia.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was at when the war ended, in Czechoslovakia, halfway across that country.
You have the same Jeep all the way?
Same Jeep all the way, yeah. Never had a flat tire there either.
Really? Someone said we couldn't have won the war without the Jeep.
Well, that's what I heard them say, that the Jeep won the war. All they did, and I'll tell you that it was on the go a lot. I know it's, I don't know how many miles I put on. About 14,000 miles, I guess, going across there back and forth and driving all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that counted. That we was in Czechoslovakia there when the war ended. Then we went back into Germany. I don't know what place you call that place. But we was back there for quite a while, and then, well, I went back up to Luxembourg again.
Hmm.
Just took a lieutenant up there. Was up there for a month. Then went back down to the rest of the company again. Was there. From there, I went to France and sat in there for a while, and getting ready to go home then.
Hmm.
Yeah, quite a thing.
What uh, what was the scariest? You said the first 2 weeks you were scared.
Oh, you bet you. First 2 weeks, and of course I was scared all the time, but the first 2 weeks was the worst.
Uh-huh.
Boy, I tell you, we would do most of my moving around in the dark. Well,
Hmm.
I had that Jeep. I was supposed to go back and get ammunition. Well, I found your way back there in the dark again.
And you had to duck down and drive because they were shooting at you.
So what?
You had to duck down
Oh, yeah.
and drive.
At one time, I got caught going through trees under. The Germans had their machine gun heading right there, and I could see these tracer bullets just coming. I had to get it clear down, and drive away, and I was looking over the side of the Jeep going through it. Well, at one time back there in Normandy, I got by my trailer and I looked around to see if I could see anything. I couldn't see nothing. So I just ducked down and the bullet come right through, hit the tree right behind me.
Oh.
If I'd have stayed up there another minute while I got it, but it went through the side of the Jeep, the trailer. And
Hmm. Did you have a personal weapon all this time that you carried?
yeah, I had a carbine rifle,
Yeah.
a small rifle. Yeah.
Yeah. And they flew in gasoline for you. Was that in the jerry cans, or how was that?
The what?
When they flew gasoline to you, you
Yeah,
said
5-gallon cans.
those
Yeah.
5-gallon cans.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of them things that went by, and I kind of forgot about them. Tried to get them out of my mind.
Right.
Well, this one day, it was cold as the dickens. It was up on the side of a mountain. And there was a big rock sticking out there, and I had my Jeep parked on the side of that. And the other guys, they built a little bonfire on the other side. Well, I'd go over and warm up. Stood in there. Well, I got pretty well warmed up, and then that guy come up and poked me. He said, "We sure making a good target here."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm going to get out." And he says, "Well, I'm going to," he says, "He's going along." I don't know where I was going. Well, I said, "I'm going over to my Jeep." About that time, the shell come in and killed 2 men and wounded another one. So my Jeep was right close. I took this wounded man and put him on the trailer, took him into the doctors. And just pulled away, and another shell come in and it killed the 2 men that helped load him on the trailer. Yeah, it was quite a thing.
You slept in the snow in your sleeping bags.
Yeah, we didn't have sleeping bags at first. Start with, no, I just threw the shelter half down and a blanket on top of that, and then another blanket and then a shelter half. 2 of us slept together all the time. Then they give us the sleeping bags in about the middle of the winter. Yeah, I'd say you'd crawl in there and you'd get all warmed up. And about that time, well, we need more ammunition. We'll crawl out in that cold and take off and get some ammunition.
You did that a lot with your Jeep, hauling ammunition.
What?
You did a lot of that hauling
Oh,
ammunition.
we done a lot of it. You betcha.
With your trailer, was that like a 3/4 ton trailer or a two-wheel trailer?
Two-wheel trailer, yeah.
The regular Jeep type trailer, or was it
Yeah,
bigger?
it was made just for that Jeep. It's for Jeeps. But they was waterproof. They would float like a boat. Them trailers would.
Oh.
Yeah. Then we got into that forest in, I guess it was in Germany. Or no, I don't know. Black Forest anyhow. Oh, I tell you, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was just clear dark in there. You couldn't see nothing. We're supposed to go back and get that load of ammunition, and you couldn't see. So we'd get out and feel around on the ground to see if there's any Jeep tracks, which way to go. I got to get out of there, and it was about 4 o'clock. And well, just a clear, nice and sunny out on the outside, and in there it's so dark you couldn't see nothing.
Weren't supposed to turn on the headlights, I assume.
Oh, we had them disconnected. You couldn't turn none on.
Couldn't even turn them on.
Oh, you couldn't. The horn and everything was disconnected. You couldn't.
Oh.
No, we didn't have no lights whatsoever.
You have to maintain your Jeep, see that it had oil and
Yeah, I had to check the oil and the gas and
grease it. and
grease.
so-
Yeah. Yeah. I kept it going all the way. So.
Do you have any constant problem with the Jeep? Something that was always going wrong?
No, that Jeep, it done real good, and it never hesitated to start in that cold weather. It started right off. But when the war was over, it was just about then when the valves were starting to leak. They needed valve grinding.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was from using that high octane gas, and that was just got too hot for them valves, I guess.
You were using airplane gas in it?
That's what it was, yeah.
Didn't you say your Jeep was your best friend over there?
Yeah.
You told me that one time. This is an exact replica of the Jeep you drove over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one time this give orders for our outfit to take a certain town ahead of us. It says, if possible, take it. Our general said, hollered back at him and says, we done everything possible. We're now doing the impossible.
Who was that general, you remember?
No, I don't remember his name.
You ever run into General Patton or?
Well, Patton he was the head of, I was in what they called the Third Army, and he was the head of it. Yeah, I talked to him.
Did you?
Yeah, he'd come right up there a couple times on the front line.
And your group was known as the Tough Hombres, or what? You had
Yeah,
that
tough
on your
hombre,
arm?
yeah.
The armband? TOs?
You might go out and get that book. Shouldn't
Yeah, I got it right here.
you? We got it there.
Tough Hombres. Yeah, you had a TO on your...
That's the history of the outfit there.
Hey, now open it up. Can you hold that Jeep up here, right in front of the book? Yeah. So you went all the way from England across the Channel to France and all from Germany clear over to Czechoslovakia in a Jeep like that and back again several times probably.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you got home
Yeah.
and you got out of the service pretty quickly after